the forest of eternal spring. After their triumph on the Isle of Whispering Shadows, Tobian and Nivara found themselves drawn to a place of legend, a land known only in whispers and old tales, the forest of eternal spring. It was said to be a paradise, where nature flourished in a perpetual state of rebirth, and where the air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms and the songs of birds that never ceased. The journey to the forest was long and arduous, with Tobian and Nivara traveling across vast plains and through dense woods. As they neared the forest, they noticed the change in the air, fresh, vibrant, and filled with life. The trees ahead were tall and ancient, their branches heavy with colorful blooms. A sense of peace washed over them as they stepped into the forest, as if they had entered a world untouched by time. Nivara felt the forest's magic calling to her, inviting her to change once more. This time, the transformation was gentle, filled with the warmth and beauty of spring. Her hair became a cascade of soft green, interwoven with delicate flowers that seemed to bloom with each step she took. Her eyes turned a bright, vibrant green, sparkling with life. Her skin took on a warm, sun-kissed hue, and her gown transformed into a flowing dress of woven leaves and petals, adorned with vines and blossoms. Nivara had become the spirit of eternal spring. Tobian smiled, captivated by her transformation. "You've become the embodiment of life itself, Nivara. The forest is in harmony with you." Nivara's voice was filled with joy, her laughter like the tinkling of wind chimes. "The forest is alive with magic, Tobian. It's a place of endless renewal and beauty. But I can sense that there's more to this place, something hidden beneath the surface." As they ventured deeper into the forest of eternal spring, they were surrounded by the vibrant life of the forest. Flowers of every color bloomed along the path, and the air was filled with the songs of birds and the hum of insects. The trees towered above them, their branches forming a lush canopy that filtered the sunlight into a warm, golden glow. However, as they continued, they began to notice subtle changes. The path grew narrower, and the air seemed to grow heavier with each step. The songs of the birds became quieter, and the once bright colors of the flowers began to fade, replaced by shades of muted green and brown. The forest, once so vibrant and full of life, seemed to be losing its magic. Nivara paused, her eyes narrowing as she sensed the change in the air. "Something is wrong, Tobian. The forest is fading, it's as if the magic that sustains it is being drained away." Tobian nodded, his brow furrowed in concern. "We need to find the source of this disruption. If the magic of the forest is failing, the cycle of renewal will be broken." Guided by Nivara's connection to the forest, they followed the trail of fading life to the heart of the forest, where a grand tree stood. This tree was unlike any other. They could feel its age and power, its roots spreading deep into the earth and its branches reaching high into the sky. But the tree's leaves were wilting, and its once glowing bark was dull and lifeless. At the base of the tree, they discovered a large, ancient stone with intricate runes carved into its surface. The runes were faint, their power nearly extinguished. It was clear that this stone was the source of the forest's magic, and that something was sapping its strength. Nivara knelt by the stone, her hands gently tracing the runes. "This stone holds the essence of the forest's magic, but it's being drained by something dark and unnatural." Tobian studied the stone, his mind racing to find a solution. "We need to restore the stone's power, or the forest will wither and die." As they examined the stone, the ground beneath them began to tremble, and the air grew cold. The shadows around them darkened, and from the depths of the forest emerged a figure cloaked in darkness. It was the shade of decay, a being that thrived on draining the life force of living things, and it had set its sights on the forest of eternal spring. The shade's voice was a low, sinister whisper. "This forest's magic will be mine. I will drain every last drop of life from it, and it will wither away, leaving only death in its wake." Nivara stood tall, her connection to the forest giving her strength. "You won't succeed, Shade. This forest is a place of life and renewal, and we will not let you destroy it." The Shade laughed, a sound that sent chills down their spines. "You are but a spark in the face of my power. The forest's magic is already fading, it's only a matter of time before it is mine." Tobian stepped forward, his staff glowing with magical energy. "You underestimate the power of life, Shade. We will restore the forest, and your darkness will be banished." With that, the battle began. The Shade summoned dark tendrils of shadow that lashed out at Tobian and Nivara, seeking to drain their life force. But Nivara, in her form as the spirit of eternal spring, called upon the power of the forest. Vines and roots erupted from the ground, blocking the Shade's attacks and striking back with the force of nature itself. Tobian focused his magic on the stone, channeling his energy into the runes. Slowly, the runes began to glow once more, their power returning as Tobian poured his magic into them. The forest responded, the colors returning to the flowers, the songs of the birds growing louder, and the warmth of the sun filtering through the canopy once more. The Shade, realizing it was losing its grip on the forest, unleashed a final, desperate attack. But Nivara, with the full power of the forest behind her, countered with a wave of pure, life-giving energy. The Shade shrieked as it was engulfed in light, its form dissipating into nothingness. With the Shade vanquished, the stone at the base of the grand tree glowed brightly, its runes fully restored. The tree itself seemed to sigh with relief, its leaves returning to their vibrant green and its bark glowing with life. The forest of eternal spring was saved. Nivara's appearance slowly returned to normal, her connection to the forest still strong but the intense magic of the transformation fading. She smiled at Tobian, her heart filled with joy. "The forest is safe, Tobian. We did it." Tobian returned her smile, feeling the warmth of the restored forest around them. "We couldn't have done it without you, Nivara. The forest's magic is as resilient as life itself." As they left the heart of the forest, the sun began to set, casting a golden light over the landscape. The birds sang once more, and the flowers bloomed in every color imaginable. The forest of eternal spring had returned to its former glory, and Tobian and Nivara knew that their journey would continue, with new adventures awaiting them just beyond the horizon. The Crystal Peaks. After their victory in the forest of eternal spring, Tobian and Nivara felt a new calling, a whisper on the wind that spoke of ancient treasures hidden within the towering Crystal Peaks. These mountains, known for their jagged spires of shimmering crystal, were said to be the home of rare and powerful gems, each with its own unique magic. As they approached the Crystal Peaks, the air grew cooler, and the sky above took on a pale, silvery hue. The mountains ahead glittered in the sunlight, their surfaces reflecting 1,000 shades of blue, purple, and pink. It was a breathtaking sight, but both Tobian and Nivara knew that the peaks held more than just beauty, there was an ancient power here, waiting to be discovered. Before venturing into the peaks, Nivara felt the familiar pull of magic as the mountains called to her. She closed her eyes, letting the energy of the crystals wash over her, and began to transform once more. Her hair turned a deep, iridescent blue, resembling the crystal veins within the mountains. Her eyes sparkled like polished gemstones, and her skin took on a translucent, almost ethereal quality, as if she were made of living crystal. Her gown became a flowing robe of silken, shimmering fabric, adorned with intricate patterns of crystals and gems. Nivara had become the spirit of the crystal peaks. Tobian marveled at her transformation, his artist's eye capturing every detail. "You're more radiant than ever, Nivara. These peaks are in harmony with you." Nivara smiled, her voice resonating with a soft, melodic tone. "The crystals here hold memories of ages long past. There's something ancient within these peaks, something waiting to be awakened." Together, they began their ascent into the crystal peaks, following a narrow path that wound its way up the mountainside. The air grew thin and crisp as they climbed higher, and the light around them took on a soft, otherworldly glow, refracted through the crystalline structures all around them. As they ventured deeper into the mountains, they encountered a series of challenges, crystal formations that shifted and changed, creating labyrinthine paths that tested their resolve. But Nivara, with her newfound connection to the crystals, guided them with ease, her presence calming the shifting stones and revealing the true path. At last, they reached the heart of the crystal peaks, a vast cavern filled with towering crystal spires that seemed to pulse with a gentle, rhythmic light. In the center of the cavern, a large, multifaceted gem floated above a stone altar, glowing with a light that was both warm and cold, ancient and new. Nivara approached the gem, her heart resonating with its energy. "This is the heart of the crystal peaks," she whispered. "It holds the essence of these mountains, the magic of the crystals, and the memories of the earth itself." But as she reached out to touch the gem, the cavern rumbled, and the crystal spires around them began to shimmer and shake. From the shadows emerged a figure made entirely of crystal, its form sharp and angular, its eyes glowing with a cold, blue light. It was the guardian of the crystal peaks, a being tasked with protecting the heart of the mountains. The guardian's voice echoed through the cavern, cold and resonant. "Who dares to disturb the heart of the crystal peaks? You are not welcome here." Tobian stepped forward, his staff glowing with protective magic. "We mean no harm, Guardian. We seek to understand the magic of these peaks and protect it from those who would misuse it." The Guardian's eyes narrowed, its crystalline form crackling with energy. "Many have come before you, seeking to take the power of the heart for themselves. Prove your worth, or be cast out." Nivara, with her deep connection to the crystals, felt a kinship with the Guardian. "We don't seek to take anything, only to learn and protect. The heart of the crystal peaks resonates with the magic of the earth, and we want to ensure that this magic remains pure." The Guardian seemed to consider her words, its form flickering as if caught between trust and doubt. "Words are not enough. You must face the trial of the peaks. If you succeed, the heart will reveal its secrets to you. If you fail, you will be forever lost within these mountains." Without hesitation, Tobian and Nivara agreed to the trial. The Guardian raised its hands, and the cavern around them began to shift and change. The crystal spires reformed into a massive maze, filled with shifting paths, hidden traps, and illusions designed to confuse and disorient. Nivara, in her form as the spirit of the crystal peaks, led the way, her connection to the crystals guiding them through the maze. Tobian followed, using his magic to dispel the illusions and protect them from the traps that lay in wait. The trial was challenging, but their bond and determination carried them through. At last, they reached the center of the maze, where the heart of the crystal peaks awaited them. The Guardian appeared once more, its form now calm and serene. "You have proven your worth. The heart of the crystal peaks recognizes your intent. You may now commune with it and learn its secrets." Nivara approached the heart, her hand gently touching its surface. A wave of energy surged through her, filling her with the knowledge and memories of the mountains. She saw visions of ancient times when the crystal peaks were first formed, of the magic that infused the earth, and of the countless beings who had come to these peaks seeking wisdom and power. As she communed with the heart, a small, glowing crystal detached itself from the gem and floated into her hand. It was a gift from the mountains, a token of their journey and a symbol of the bond they had forged with the crystal peaks. With the trial complete, the guardian bowed to them, its form shimmering with a soft light. You have earned the respect of the crystal peaks. Go now, with the blessings of the mountains. Tobian and Nivara left the cavern, the glowing crystal in hand, their hearts filled with the magic and knowledge they had gained. As they descended the mountains, the sun began to set, casting a warm, golden light over the peaks. The journey had been challenging, but they had emerged stronger, with a deeper understanding of the magic that surrounded them. As they made their way back to the valley below, Nivara's appearance slowly returned to normal, her connection to the mountains still strong but the intense magic of the transformation fading. She smiled at Tobian, the crystal in her hand glowing softly. The crystal peaks have shared their secrets with us, Tobian. I feel like we've uncovered something truly special. Tobian nodded, his mind already racing with new ideas and possibilities. This journey has been incredible, Nivara. I can't wait to see where our next adventure will take us. With the heart of the crystal peaks safely in their possession, Tobian and Nivara knew that their journey was far from over. The world was vast and filled with wonders waiting to be discovered, and together, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The Whispering Sands. After their triumph in the Crystal Peaks, Tobian and Nivara found themselves drawn to a new destination, a vast, ancient desert known as the Whispering Sands. This desert, known for its ever-changing dunes and mysterious whispers carried by the wind, was rumored to hold secrets buried deep beneath its golden sands. Some said that the desert itself was alive, speaking in the voices of those who had traveled its treacherous paths long ago. As they approached the edge of the Whispering Sands, the heat of the desert greeted them, the air shimmering with waves of warmth. The sand stretched out before them like a golden sea, the dunes rising and falling in endless, shifting patterns. The wind whispered softly, carrying with it fragments of ancient voices, memories of the past, forgotten but not entirely lost. Nivara, sensing the power of the desert, felt the familiar pull of transformation. She closed her eyes, letting the magic of the sands flow through her, and began to change. Her hair became a cascade of shimmering golden strands, like the rays of the sun reflecting off the dunes. Her eyes took on the color of the deepest, clearest blue, mirroring the sky above. Her skin turned a warm, sun-kissed bronze, and her gown transformed into a flowing, diaphanous robe made of the finest silks, adorned with delicate patterns that seemed to shift and change like the sands themselves. She had become the spirit of the Whispering Sands. Tobian gazed at her in awe, his heart swelling with admiration. You're a vision of the desert itself, Nivara. It's as if you've become one with the sands. Nivara smiled, her voice soft and melodic, carrying the gentle tones of the desert wind. The sands whisper to me, Tobian. They tell of lost cities, hidden treasures, and ancient magic waiting to be found. With Nivara guiding them, they ventured into the heart of the Whispering Sands. The dunes rose and fell around them, the landscape shifting with each step they took. The whispers grew louder, filling the air with fragments of forgotten stories, and the wind seemed to guide them, steering them toward their destination. As they traveled deeper into the desert, they came upon an ancient, half-buried obelisk. Its surface was covered in intricate carvings, telling the tale of a lost civilization that had once thrived in this arid land. The obelisk pointed toward the horizon, where the faint outline of a massive structure could be seen, an ancient city buried beneath the sands. Nivara reached out to touch the obelisk, her fingers tracing the carvings as if she could feel the history of the place through her fingertips. "This is the city of the Whispering Sands," she whispered. "It was once a place of great power and magic, but it was lost to time, buried by the very sands that gave it life." Tobian studied the obelisk, his mind racing with thoughts of what they might discover within the city's buried walls. "We need to find a way inside, Nivara. The magic of this place could be the key to unlocking secrets long forgotten." Guided by the whispers of the desert, they followed the obelisk's direction, making their way toward the hidden city. The journey was arduous, the heat of the sun bearing down on them, but Nivara's connection to the desert sustained them, her presence calming the shifting sands and shielding them from the worst of the heat. At last, they reached the outskirts of the city, where the sands had parted to reveal ancient stone walls and towering spires. The city was vast, its streets and buildings half buried but still standing, a testament to the skill and power of those who had built it. As they entered the city, the whispers grew louder, filling the air with a chorus of voices, each telling a different story. The wind carried the scent of ancient spices and the faint echoes of music, as if the city were still alive, trapped in a moment of time. Nivara, her connection to the desert stronger than ever, led them through the streets, her steps sure and steady. The city seemed to respond to her presence, the sands shifting to reveal hidden paths and long-forgotten doorways. They passed through grand archways and beneath crumbling bridges, each new discovery adding to the mystery of the city. Finally, they arrived at the heart of the city, where a massive, intricately carved doorway stood, sealed by an ancient spell. The doorway was adorned with symbols of the sun, the moon, and the stars, and in its center was a large, circular indentation, as if something were meant to be placed there. Nivara's eyes widened as she recognized the symbols. "This is a gateway to the inner sanctum of the city. The key to opening it must be the heart of the Whispering Sands, a gem of unimaginable power, said to be hidden deep within the city." Tobian nodded, his determination unwavering. "Then we'll find it, Nivara. This city has called to us for a reason, and we won't leave until we've uncovered its secrets." Together, they began their search for the heart of the Whispering Sands, exploring the ancient city and unraveling its mysteries. The journey was filled with challenges, traps set by the city's long-dead inhabitants to protect their treasures, illusions that tested their resolve, and riddles that required all of their wisdom to solve. As they delved deeper into the city, the whispers of the sands guided them, revealing hidden chambers and secret passageways. Nivara's connection to the desert allowed her to sense the flow of magic within the city, leading them ever closer to their goal. At last, they arrived at a grand chamber deep within the city's heart. In the center of the chamber, resting on a pedestal of pure gold, was a large, glowing gem, the heart of the Whispering Sands. The gem radiated a soft, golden light, its surface shifting like the sands themselves. Nivara approached the gem, her heart racing with anticipation. She could feel the power emanating from it, the ancient magic of the desert contained within its crystalline form. With a deep breath, she reached out and took the gem in her hands. As soon as she touched it, the chamber around them began to tremble, the sands shifting and swirling as if the city itself were coming to life. The whispers grew louder, the voices blending into a single, harmonious melody that filled the air. Nivara turned to Tobian, her eyes shining with the light of the gem. "The city recognizes us, Tobian. We've proven ourselves worthy of its secrets. With the heart of the Whispering Sands in hand, they returned to the sealed doorway. Nivara placed the gem into the circular indentation, and the symbols on the door began to glow with a warm, golden light. The ancient spell that had sealed the door was broken, and with a low rumble, the doorway slowly opened, revealing a hidden sanctuary beyond. Inside, they found treasures beyond their wildest dreams, artifacts of immense power, scrolls containing lost knowledge, and a pool of crystal-clear water that seemed to glow with an inner light. But the greatest treasure of all was the knowledge they had gained, the understanding of the city's magic and the connection between the desert and its people. As they left the city, the heart of the Whispering Sands safely in their possession, Tobian and Nivara knew that their journey was far from over. The world was filled with wonders waiting to be discovered, and together, they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Nivara's appearance slowly returned to normal, but the connection she had forged with the desert remained strong, the magic of the Whispering Sands a part of her now. She smiled at Tobian, the gem glowing softly in her hand. The desert has shared its secrets with us, Tobian. I feel like we've uncovered something truly special. Tobian nodded, his mind already racing with new ideas and possibilities. This journey has been incredible, Nivara. I can't wait to see where our next adventure will take us. With the heart of the Whispering Sands as their guide, Tobian and Nivara set out once more, their hearts filled with the magic and knowledge they had gained. The world was vast and filled with mysteries, and together, they were ready to explore every corner of it.